Wiggly. If anybody's never been to an IGA or Piggly Wiggly, you know they don't really have any fruit up in there. So those folks are sick down there. This country has changed. 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, 95% of Americans were rural. They lived in rural areas. Not anymore. 81% of Americans are urban. So how does that change our thought process? It's my contention that the commercial food production industry in this country, the system is broken. So we're in the process of creating a new paradigm, a new way of looking at it. It's the local food economy that will be how we produce food in the future. Consider, the Chinese are moving 250 million people from the rural areas into the cities. They want to create a consumer society. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. You know, clothes, cars, televisions, all the things that we in this country take for granted. They want their folks to live. 250 million. How many Americans are 300, 320? You know, it's a huge percentage of our population. They want to move to their city. But we had to come up with something different, something new. As Peggy said, it was only in June 10th that farming in the city, actually gardening in the city, became legal. And how can that be? Well, we live in a permit society. If you don't have explicit permission to do something, which means you go downtown and pay your taxes, and they'll give you a piece of paper and have somebody inspect it, you can't do it. So this work that we've done over the last 9 years has been technically illegal. I've done it anyway. I'd rather ask forgiveness than permission. And so far, I haven't been punished. You know, no good deed goes unpunished, so I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. What else? Go real quick. Okay, yeah, cool. So we sometimes spend hours going over this. This land that we stand on was built by, it was a housing development built by Reverend William Holmes Borders. He was the pastor of Wheat Street Baptist Church for 52 years. And with collaboration with the Downtown Society, the mayor's, previous mayors, in the early 1960s, they built the first faith-based low-income housing project in America on this site. And why that came about, they put the freeways in, the connector and the 20 is where, it's always put the freeways in the neighborhood that have the lowest property value. And the lowest property values in this case is where black folks live. So he found homes, he helped people find places to live who were dislocated, and then he accumulated 22 acres in this area from the Atlanta Housing Authority and built the first faith-based low-income housing project in America. Now to put that in a little context of who Reverend Borders was, right over there in the corner is Ebenezer Baptist Church. It's one block. You got the King Center, the National Monument, the new Ebenezer, there's huge park lot to take up all that area. Martin Luther King Jr., that was not his work. Yeah, it was Coretta Scott King that built all that. But his King and his father, Daddy King, all they have in this little corner there is contrasted with what William Holmes Borders did with the 22 acres. He built a senior tower, he had an educational school, nursery school, credit union, shopping center. He did a lot of work in this neighborhood. He was really the powerhouse of the preachers in Atlanta for many years. 52 years he pastored this church. So we negotiated for 2 years to get this particular site and began the transformation. All the food you see when you get a chance to walk around, most of it is built on concrete slabs. So rather than taking out the slabs, what we've done is go up instead of down, which is the easier way to do urban agriculture. Because most people, my preference is to farm in the dirt, okay? But most people getting started, you have better control over your soil, weeds, all of that. If you go up rather than go down, it's a lot easier than trying to dig. So that's what we teach, that's what we're showing people. Here you'll see we got so many different varieties of fruit. This is a demonstration site. We got several varieties of apples, figs, pears, plums, peaches, pomegranates, persimmons, there's peaches right there, muscadines, scuppernongs. Who knows what that is? Who doesn't know what a muscadine is scuppernong? That's a native grape. It's a very thick-skinned grape. And it's very delicious. They come in green and purple, black, dark. Raspberries, blackberries, kiwis, pomegranates, mulberries, we get all this stuff. Down the corner we have an aquaponics center. That's where you use fish poop to grow the plants. Our greenhouse, we have chicken. We do compost. We collect all the compost in the neighborhood. Sweet Auburn Market's around the corner. You get to the coffee shop and you compost around. You'll see that. And anybody that's starting to farm, the first livestock you should have are earthworms. Because the quality of the soil, you can tell the quality of soil by how much life is in it. And how we do here, I don't even try and grow food. We build soil, God grows the food. Quality soil is the key to all agriculture. And this is why one of the reasons that the commercial section breaks down, because they don't have any respect for the soil. They use the soil as a receptacle for the roots of the plant. They figure they can put in all the ingredients. Now, I'm a soil scientist and plant scientist by degree. Once I got all that, being a city boy, I figured I need to at least learn the language of agriculture. I went and got a degree, master's degree. Then got out of doing it, I wanted to grow organically. I had to quickly begin to unlearn everything that I got to school. I got an allergy problem. We call it works. Let this dissolve a little bit and I'll be back. What else did I tell you right quick? Questions on it?
Where do you get your compost?
We make it for Peter around here. We make it, but I also buy the second best compost we get from a man down in Carroll County. When I first got here, one of the first places I went to was to the zoo. When I was out in Los Angeles, we had him deliver the zoo to me. Wayne, a good old country boy, he's something else. I went over and said, well, you got to see Wayne Seagull. So Wayne has the concession and pay him to take all the vegetarian animals out to his place to compost it, and then he sells it back to them and put it on their horticultural plant. You can't get a better deal. Both ends of that. So I used that for years until we started making our own. Yes, sir.
I was wondering how much of your operation is self-sustaining versus how much is based on donation, volunteers.
That's a figure I'm very pleased about. Most educational institutes, all education in this country is subsidized. So we need to have money. In fact, we have the cash flow because we have such a good grant year. 4 years ago, we had 11% earned income. The year after that was 18%. Last year was 25%. This year was about 46%. So that's something that I'm very pleased about. I'd like to get that up to about between 50 and 60. I think that'll cover our labor costs, salaries and such, and then everything else we have to be. We will always need to have some support. Now Peggy pointed out to you that we have the most progressive, they said don't use the word liberal, and progressive policy in the country, but we don't have the civic support that we need. You'll find in Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, Portland, and Vancouver, all those places now are really promoting urban agriculture. That has not happened here yet. That's the work we have to continue. And that's why this site is so important, because those folks in those downtown skyscrapers, this is what we do. And the street is possible. Atlanta is the greenest city in America by virtue of trees and open space. We have enough land here to grow all the fruits and vegetables we need to feed everybody. Not meats and grains, just fruits and vegetables. Then we need the civic support, and we haven't gotten it. Did I answer your question? Anybody else? Ma'am. Atlanta's the capital of the South.
I think you're putting the word careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to. It's the capital of the South. A lot of Southern sensibilities here. Many of the folk who live in, you have Atlanta and then you have Georgia. Be real clear about that. Atlanta's metro, 80% of Georgians live in the metro area, but this isn't the real Georgia. The real Georgia is south of here and up in the hills. In most of the county seats that you go to, there's always a Confederate soldier with a rifle facing north, and they still call it the war of northern aggression. It's how American civil wars can often described in polite and non-polite science. I think that it's just going to take time to further educate people. We have there is a very strong movement. I think overall in the country, we've gotten beyond being a movement. It's a way of life. We've created a new paradigm. There's been a paradigm shift in the agricultural thought processes, and we're moving that direction. It's going to take some time. And I could use some help. And there are those folks who, you get player haters on both sides of the issue. You know that term? Player hater?
No.
You know what a player hater is?
Yeah, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. You get folks that a lot of jealousy, envy, and they'd rather have somebody else doing it. That kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You following my thought process? I don't want to step anybody too hard and public. Yes, ma'am.
Who have been some of your allies?
I had a meeting the other day. They pointed out to me that we have a lot of sponsorships that I wasn't even paying attention to. Allies, the Blank Foundation has helped us quite a bit. We've gotten money from Coca-Cola. I won't put up any advertising. They've given us some money. Home Depot. Several many individuals. But I don't have an angel that says, I see your vision, here's your money, let's go.
Are there allies in kind or allies who you support but maybe not financially?
Yeah, you see all these loud volunteers we have over here. We have thousands of volunteers that come out during the year that help us. We have a relationship, a collaboration with both of the universities. This is a very important thing. We focus on all over the country, and Peggy brings two out over here to have an opportunity to talk with you and share some of the ideas that we have. Allies, Georgia Organics. I was the past chairman of Georgia Organics. Atlanta Local Food Initiative that Peggy started. Urban Food Abundance Movement. There are a lot of different forums, and I get to talk in a lot of them. And what I have found, most of the young people who have been engaged in urban agriculture, one way or another, they know more than one step removed from the work that we've got here over the years. I got to say that with humility because it's amazing how much you can get done if you're not just trying to get credit. All right, but it's wonderful to ride through town. And, I got to say, it's satisfying to see the people use the techniques that we demonstrate. A lot of our graduates, let me do that. Go to work on the place. Got the planet with emphasis on putting gardens in school. Their principals, installers, and maintainers, graduates. Most of the people that have worked here have come up through the ranks. Our urban growers program, we have a 6-month, we're in the 7th cycle now. They'll either work for 6 months or 3 months. And they work 2 days a week, and they have a classroom, half-day classroom on Saturdays. And they go out and do whatever they want to do. Most of them have maintained some connection to the training and the work. That makes sense? Yes. Yeah, we can go as deep as you want if your time allows on it. We keep them on. In terms of distribution, we sell our food. Most of our food is sold on our market, directly to people. Okay? But we do sell from high-end restaurants, not the lower price restaurants. Don't pay. We'd rather go get from the farm food distribution market. We call it the farmers market. It's really not anymore. And they get their food from there. So, but we have this year we're lucky we have 8 visitor volunteers in Service to America. And a couple of them we have one that's helping me with development work. We have one who's working with volunteers, putting together chores. We got a couple of them that are place-based and helping to build a food co-op down in the Desert Pines Park over here in Go Boulevard District. So they are doing part of the outreach. We have one marketing associate, Vista. So that's a great help to us. You know, if we had 8 of them, $25,000, they're going to give us more than $25,000 worth of work. But that's still a grand $200,000. How we look at it. Keep speaking up. Yes, sir.
You said that the farmers market isn't really a farmers market anymore. So I'm just wondering, this came up in a session earlier today, like, how does that affect the sort of blurring of the lines of like you're actually doing local art, you know, local agriculture and they're kind of not? Does that represent a challenge to you?
No, you know, see, you stand on the corner and protest what they're doing, or I can focus my energy on what I want to do and create the alternative. And that's what I choose to do. No, that food is going to come in from all over the world. There are 5 million people here. I can't feed them all. Yeah. Okay? I mean, we have our constituency, and my colleagues have their constituency. So our circles continue to expand. And I think that historically, we're going to find that what we're doing, this creation of a local food economy, this new paradigm in agricultural production, has taken hold. And it's just going to take a while for it to continue to expand. So what they're doing now, they continue to do that. Back in the 1970s, I used to bring mustard greens from the farm down in South Georgia and sell them at the farmers market when the farmers were there. Now you don't. There are no farmers. And even the farmers that in the stalls where the farmers were, those folks go up on the hill to buy their food and then bring it down and sell it in the stall. There's no farmers market. It's a food distribution center for commercial food. I'd much rather have the line long, the food short, than the opposite. A lot of food and no people. Man.
You mentioned a co-op. Can you talk a little bit about that idea that you're exploring and other models you're sort of borrowing from?
We're doing that in collaboration with the food bank. And the wrinkle, most of the food that the food bank has is packaged and processed. That's getting food in the stomachs of people who can't get food. Period. It's important. But we're introducing fresh food as a part of that. So some of what they'll get in the co-op will be fresh food, as well as the canned and processed foods that they can get from the food bank. Bill Bolin, who runs the Atlanta Community Food Bank, is one of the leaders in the community, and he is now creating a new position that's going to help all of urban agriculture in the Atlanta area. And also back to the farmers market, every neighborhood wants to have a farmers market, or every churches want to have a day. They set up a farmers market on site. And the problem is there's not enough food and there's not enough farmers, okay, to provide the food and supply everybody. So that's one of the jobs that we have. We're training people to be able to grow the food so they can get out there and do that work.
I want you to